Welcome to the Texas High School Football Coaches Show on Lone Star Gridiron. I'm Chris Daly, and it's my belief that the men that make up the fraternity of Texas high school football coaches are much more than a bunch of thick-necked guys with whistles. They do so much more than teach technique and the X's and O's of football. They take young boys and change them into young men of character. They get kids to believe in themselves, to trust others, and to put others ahead of themselves. Texas high school football coaches are unique in how they impact the lives of these athletes as well as the generations those kids touch. In this show, I sit down with a different Texas high school football coach each time and learn about them. Not their record, not their on-field accomplishments, but who they are and what they believe and what it means to be part of the greatest sport in the greatest state. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lone Star Gridiron Texas High School Football Coaches Show, Season 4, Episode 8. I'm your host, Chris Daly, and today my guest is from way down in the valley. We are talking, you could probably throw a football from Eagle Pass High School and hit Mexico. It's Tom Gonzalez from Eagle Pass High School, and we will introduce you to him right after this. Hey, I want to give a big thank you to this season's title sponsor, Mecca Sportswear, where they are all about celebrating achievement. They're honored that so many high schools, colleges, and universities have chosen Mecca's products to represent their institutions. Mecca supplies you with the very best in custom letter jackets, chenille letters, patches, blankets, banners, pins, certificates, and much more to motivate and celebrate achievement in athletics, academics, or the arts. They create high-quality custom awards that will fit your budget. To see why so many great schools around Texas choose Mecca Sportswear, call Sherry Armstrong or Billy Armstrong at 210-651-6592. Mecca Sportswear, the premier suppliers of letter jackets and awards for over 40 years.
Rocket Man, the story of D.W. Rutledge and the Judson High School football dynasty, is a must-read. It provides complete coverage of every game coached by Rutledge, but more importantly, tells the stories of the impact he has had on the tens of thousands of students, parents, coaches, administrators, and fans. Dr. Charles Breithaupt and Chris Daly, both well-known in the Texas high school football community, joined forces to tell this much-needed and inspiring tale. Get your copy now at rocketmanbook.com.
All right, everybody join me in welcoming Coach Tom Gonzalez from Eagle Pass to the show. Coach, how are things going with you?
Everything's going good, Chris. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you bet, you bet. So normally what we do is we jump right in and figure out how this all started for you. Let's go back to when you discovered the game of football. Tell that story.
I started from a little boy. I mean, my parents raised me going to the Eagle Pass. I'm born and raised in Eagle Pass, so
nice.
We used to go when my sisters were older. They were dating football players, so we'd go watch them. And, I loved football instantly. My brother was a standout athlete here at Eagle Pass, my older brother. And so I looked up to him. I wanted to be just like him. So, football has always been in my blood. I knew NFL teams from when I was like 5 years old. I could tell you when their mascots and everything, so I just always loved football.
Nice, and that's when they got to keep the same players every year too. So that was cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's when it was a lot better, I guess.
Nice. So, if you could, let's talk about. I assume you played when you went to high school.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I played here. Again, I was born and raised in Eagle Pass, so I played the whole time I was from junior high to high school. We didn't have Pop Warner back then, so. You started football in 7th grade, right. And then I played the 4 years in high school, freshman, JV, and varsity.
Nice, nice. And then went off to college. Where'd you go to college?
I went to Southwest Texas State University, which is now Texas State.
Yeah, nice. That's right.
Yeah.
Right, like 10 miles from where I am.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful school.
So when did you figure out you wanted to be a coach?
Actually, I started out, about the time I was going to college, the computer started getting real big. Yep. And I said, you know what, I'm going to be a computer science major, and then I realized I had to take math, and I said, forget it. After the first class, I said, no way. My brother was a football coach at the time, and again, I liked football all my life, and he was having a lot of success at it, and my cousin, and, we just have a lot of coaches in our family, and I said, you know what, I think that's what I want to do. Nice.
And where were they coaching?
Well, my brother was coaching. He coached his entire career down in the Valley, down at Harlingen, several different schools down in the Valley. And he ended his career at Sherryland. And my cousin, who ended up giving me my first coaching job, Oki Villasenor, he coached the same thing in Eagle Pass, La Jolla, Laredo Nixon, a bunch of different places. Mm-hmm. He had a lot of success there too. Nice. And then now we have a bunch of young cousins that are in the career also.
Awesome. So tell me, from the time you graduated college to today, stop by stop, every place you coached.
Okay, well, my senior year in college, I had to do student teaching, so I actually did student teaching at New Braunfels High School under Coach Streety. Yeah. And I stayed there that semester, and in the spring I kind of volunteered. So that was actually, I consider that my first place. Yeah. After that, when I graduated from college, my cousin Oki Villasenor got the head job at Laredo Nixon, and he gave me my first job. And so I coached freshmen there for 3 years. And then our last year, he moved me up to JV, so that was my fourth year. Mm-hmm. And then in 91, we moved to Eagle Pass. We moved back. We had a chance to come back to Eagle Pass, and I jumped on that. And I've been here since. And I've been coaching. I started here at JV, and I moved up to special teams coordinator, defense coordinator, and now I'm the head coach.
Nice. So, in this business, you mentioned a couple other coaches. You really don't get anywhere by yourself. Talk about some of those coaches that were influential in your career, and then maybe what you learned from some of them.
Right, and you're definitely right. It's a lot of who you know to move around in this business. Mm-hmm. And I started with Oki Villasenor. I'm so thankful he gave me my first job. I've worked with. Managed to work with he's a Hall of Fame coach in the Texas High School Coaches Association, Coach Doelle Foster. He was actually a coach of mine in high school. And Bobby Slaughter was very influential in my career also early on. Eddie Graff gave me my second. He actually gave me the defense coordinator job and started me off there. He's really influential in my coaching career because he took me under his wing and kind of showed me the ropes from at an early age. And then this whole time, I can always call my brother and ask him different things. So he's another one that was very influential in my life.
Nice. So what do you know now as a coach that you wish you knew coming out of college?
Well, now, You know it's all about the kids. When you come out of college, you're gung-ho and you're ready to work and you're ready. We're still there, but now we're so much more knowledgeable as far as treating the kids right and knowing that if it wasn't for the kids, we wouldn't be here. Mm-hmm. And, we have that relationship, especially, I guess, at the stage I'm in. These kids, I treat them like they're my sons. So, I tell them every day I love them. And, when I was young and not very smart, I thought it was more, about me than it was about the kids.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So that I think that's it. Yeah.
So talk about coaching in your hometown. Is that difficult or was it easier? What's the dynamic there?
It's actually, for me, it's my dream job. I always wanted to come back and coach in Eagle Pass, and I wanted my kids to grow up around their grandparents. So that was the big decision my wife and I made to move back. And I knew it was going to be difficult because we know so many people, and they've been very supportive. Even when we've had losing seasons, we do have a great fan base and great support by our administration. And I just love it here, and I think it's a great opportunity that thank God I had, and the right decision. I made the right decision coming home.
Definitely. Now the Valley doesn't get nearly the coverage that Houston, the Dallas area gets when it comes to high school football. What's different about Valley football that we should know?
Actually, a lot of people don't know. You go down to, and I've seen different games at different places, I'm saying, around the state. And the Valley, their fan support is awesome. They have some of the best facilities down there. It's kind of like the best kept secret, around the state, I guess. But, you go down there and they have beautiful stadiums around there. The fans go crazy. And I just think, it's amazing how they don't get more coverage. I guess because we, around from San Antonio on down, once we get to the third or fourth round, our season's kind of over. But it is getting better, a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, every time I've been down to a game in the Valley, I've been blown away by just what you said, the fan support, the passion behind their team. They all come out. It's such a great environment.
It is. It really is. And it's like those NFL games where the fans dress up and they go crazy on Sundays and everything. That's you see a lot of that down there. It really is awesome for the kids and the coaches and everybody.
Nice. You mentioned earlier that, as you matured as a coach, you realized a lot more that it's about the kids. If you could, give an example or two of dealing with a kid's issue that has nothing to do with football, but, you kind of stand in that gap for them.
Well, we deal with a lot of kids that, we do have a lot of good kids around here. I mean, most of our kids are, but as far as their home life, they have one parent, whether it's a mom or dad, and, we see a lot of that more, I think, now than we used to back 15, 20 years ago. For some reason, I have no idea. But, some kids will come up and say, Coach, I can't be here because I don't have a ride. Okay, so we'll figure it out. We'll go get them. We'll go pick them up at home. And that's just the basics. The other thing is, Coach, I can't afford shoes. I can't afford, school clothes or whatever. And the coaches rally around that, and we pitch in, or we'll buy them whatever. And we'll buy them clothes, or, give them some kind of, Coach, can I borrow $1 for lunch? Here you go. It's little things like that really opens your eyes to where we're at,
And what about the impact you've seen in their lives as they've gone on and become adults and parents and husbands? Do you still have those good connections with the kids?
Yeah. I love talking to these kids when they come back. That we see their success when they leave, and like I tell them every year, I'm like, it's not over once you graduate. We're here for you guys all the time. You've already paid the price, and we're here for you. You're like our own sons. And so when we do our character education in the spring, it's called Building Good Dads, good citizens, good husbands, and the number one thing on our character education is treating women right, and treating authority figures right, and these kids do a good job with all that stuff. So, all that comes into play, and I think, we've had a lot of success with the not only when the kids are here at school, but when they leave off to college or just decide to work or whatever they do.
Excellent. And there's kind of some debate going on around kids today, the millennials being the Xbox generation.
Yes, sir.
Are they the same as they were, or are they different? What have you seen in the change of kids?
I've seen these kids are, just like you said, they're used to being awarded for being mediocre. They're used to being awarded for just participating, and that's one of the things we had to change, in our off season, in the way we handle things. And I'm sure it's everywhere, but the way we handle it is everything's a competition. And these kids, we teach them that it's not okay to lose. It's not okay, to accept a loss. They handle the losses because we do have several, but at the same time, it's not like it used to be here a few years ago when we lost a game, and you wouldn't know it if you were a fan and you just came to the field house afterwards. You wouldn't know if we won or lost because those kids acted the same. Yeah. Now it's gotten to the point where, if we lose, you see the kids really down, and they'll pick themselves up the next day and stuff, but they know how to handle a loss now. It's not acceptable just to lose, and then you're going to get rewarded for it.
Yeah. So being so far from, I guess, the center of everything in Texas, how does things like coaching school and clinics, are you able to attend many of those?
Yes, sir. We try to go to as many as we can. And like you said, it is a good travel. It's 2.5 hours from here to San Antonio. It's about 4 to 5 hours to the valley. If we want to go to Houston, it's about 6 hours. But, our administration, again, has been very supportive, and they allow us to go to all these clinics. And, we'll tell them, Coach, we're going to, or our athletic director or anybody, and we'll say, we're going to have to go to this clinic. No problem. Here you go, So it's really good. The travel time is what we have to put up with, but everything else is really good.
Yeah, and you run into that, too, during playoff times.
Yes, sir. Exactly, especially the first round. You know how it is in 6A now. It's mandatory that, the highest seed gets the home game.
Yep.
So last year it was really good. We won district, and McAllen had to come over here, so they had to travel almost 5 hours to come over here. This year we ended up third place, so we had to go 5.5 hours to PSJA to play.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So talk about we already mentioned some coaches that have been influential, but talk about the brotherhood that is Texas high school coaches and how you all stay connected.
It's really amazing. There's so many things that how you can stay connected with your coaches, the way we do all our training, the film or the huddle. But at the same time, like you said, when we go to clinics, when we play each other, you just know, hey, that guy coached here, this guy coached here, and then you start meeting people and they start introducing you to these guys, and they treat, coaches treat each other different than they would anyone else because, obviously they've been there, right? And so it's just an amazing bond that we have. We can start a conversation with someone that you just met and he's been coaching, he's in the same profession, and it's like if you know each other for years, and it's I love it. I think we have the greatest job in the world.
No doubt. So I guess looking forward, what goals do you have as a coach?
Well, obviously, I want to win state. I think every coach wants to do that. Our short-term goals are to go undefeated in the season. I've never had an undefeated regular season, so we always shoot for that. The closest we've gotten is 9-1. Just little things like that. I think for my career, I'm already towards the end of my career. This is my 32nd year, so I'm kind of, I just want to make sure that I treat the kids right, and I want to make sure that I get the respect. I earn respect from the community, our school, and our kids, and the rest of the coaches, and hopefully go out, one day when I do decide to retire, go out on top.
Nice. Well, Coach Tom Gonzalez, I want to thank you so much for sitting down with me and sharing a little bit of your time.
Chris, I appreciate you having me. I appreciate everything you do for high school football.
Thank you.
Rocket Man, the story of D.W. Rutledge and the Judson High School football dynasty, is a must-read. It provides complete coverage of every game coached by Rutledge, but more importantly, tells the stories of the impact he has had on the tens of thousands of students, parents, coaches, administrators, and fans. Dr. Charles Breithaupt and Chris Daly, both well-known in the Texas high school football community, joined forces to tell this much-needed and inspiring tale. Get your copy now at rocketmanbook.com.
This show is brought to you by the book, All I Need to Know I Learned from My Texas High School Football Coach, a handbook of wisdom for parents, young people, and yes, even coaches. Head over to www.learnedfromcoach.com and order your copy to support sharing the stories of these great coaches and leaders. That's learnedfromcoach.com.
Once again, I want to thank Coach Tom Gonzalez for sitting down and talking with me, and remind you to please go out and support these sponsors who help bring these great stories of these very influential men. Until next time, I'm Chris Daly, and we'll see you at the game.